For number 11, it says, write an equation that represents a translation of 5 units right of this equation. Well, this is the absolute value of V-shaped graphs. And so this is saying you start at 0. If I start at 0 and go 5 to the right, I land at 5. Okay? And that is that V-shaped graph, where you have to go up 1, right 1, and then up 1, left 1 because it's symmetric. But what we want to know is the equation. And so when you write the equation, you need to have x and your 5 inside of the absolute value. But when you take that positive out, that positive 5 out, it becomes the opposite. It's a negative 5 inside. Okay? In number 12, graph the equation using slope-intercept form. So we have our m and we have our b. And that is where you begin on the y-axis. And then from the 3, negative 3, you want to go up 2, run to the right 1, down to left 1. Again, this is going to be multiple choice, so you'll have some graphs given to you, and you have to match which graph is correct. In number 13, we need to find m and b. So m would be how many do I go down and right 1, which is negative 2. And then it's where do I cross the y-axis for b, which is negative 3. So I know it can't be c, it can't be d, because they don't have negative 3 at the end. Now, I have to have a negative 2, negative 3, and then this is dashed. So if it is dashed, it can't have the line. Okay? And then I shaded under, below, down. So that is less. So this has to be b. Less than negative 2x minus 3. Number 14, this is easy. Our b is negative 1. Okay? So I see that I have 2 choices with negative 1 at the end. So a and d can go. The slope is how many down? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I go over 1, 2, 3. So I'm looking for negative 4/3 x minus 1. So it looks like b. C had a positive 4/3. We need a negative 4/3. In number 15, we have x1 and y1 and our slope of 2. We need to plug this in, to y minus y1. y1 is 3. Our slope is 2. And then we have x minus our x1, which is a negative 9. That makes a positive. Okay, from there, we need to transform to SIF. So we will distribute add 3, and we get y equals 2x plus 21. Okay. Then, in number 16, we just have to transform that into slope-intercept form. So I need to first distribute again. So y minus 5 equals negative 9x and negative 45. Okay, and then to get the y by itself, we just add 5 to both sides. And we get y equals negative 9x. Different signs mean to subtract. And then you keep the negative because it was the bigger number. Alright, the last 4 are exponent problems. Alright, so number 17, we multiply the 7 and the 5, and we get 35. And then you add your x's. So 3 and 2 make 5. In number 18, you divide. We get negative 10. We subtract. So 8 minus 5 is 3. And then 2 minus 4 is a negative 2. But we put that over 1, and we only bring down the negative exponent. So we bring the y down to make it positive. and we keep the negative 10 and the x to the third, because negative 10 has a positive 1 exponent. Number 19, we have a 1 right here, and because we have parentheses, we need to distribute the 3. So I've got 4 to the third, 3 times 0 is 0, and 3 times 5 is 15. We do not need the x to the 0 because it's a 1. Now the directions say here is to simplify, but if it asks you to evaluate, you would have to figure out what 4 to the third, and that would be 64, y to the 15th. So this is simplified, and this is evaluated. Alright, the last question is you take 9 times 5 is 45. You add your x's, so 4 plus 2 is 6. And 3 minus 7 is negative 4. And then you put the whole thing over 1, and you would just bring down the negative exponent. So you make it positive.